What if I told you that students in China use powerful study techniques you've probably never heard of? Methods so effective that entire classrooms achieve results most of us only dream about. And the crazy part is these methods are slowly disappearing. If you don't learn them now, you may never get the chance. And trust me, the fifth technique is unlike anything you've seen before. It was once used so aggressively in Chinese schools that it had to be banned. I'll reveal it at the very end. But let's start with the first secret that lays the foundation. Also, if you want an exceptional memory and want practical step-by-step techniques to never forget what you study, check out my ebook linked below. Secret 1. The Mindset Shift. Let me take you inside the mind of a Chinese student. While most of us in the West see studying as something you do when you feel like it, Chinese students approach it completely differently. For them, studying isn't about motivation at all. It's about endurance. They don't ask themselves, do I feel like studying today? Instead, they've built a mindset where studying is as normal as brushing their teeth or eating breakfast. It's a habit so deeply ingrained that skipping it feels unnatural. And here's the secret. This endurance mindset isn't just about doing more hours. It's about gradually training your brain stamina. They don't ask themselves, do I feel like studying today? Instead, they've built a mindset where studying is as normal as brushing their teeth or eating breakfast. It's a habit so deeply ingrained that skipping it feels unnatural. And here's the secret. This endurance mindset isn't just about doing more hours. It's about gradually training your brain stamina. They use something called the Tanz-Gay grid method. Imagine a sheet of paper divided into neat squares. And inside each square, the same character is written again and again, row after row, page after page. At first glance, it looks robotic, almost mechanical. This is why when exam season comes, Chinese students don't burn out in the first week. They've already built the mental muscles to go the distance. While others rely on last-minute cramming, they're running a marathon at a steady pace. Here's a challenge for you tonight. Set a timer and push yourself one session longer than usual. You'll be surprised how your brain adapts. If you've ever struggled with consistency, this is your chance to try. Comment below. How long can you currently study before losing focus? Secret 2. The simple power of repetition. Now, let's move to another secret weapon, repetition. Chinese students have to memorize thousands of characters, each with unique strokes and meanings. But here's what most people don't realize. They don't just copy these characters randomly. They use something called the Tanz-Gay grid method. Imagine a sheet of paper divided into neat squares. And inside each square, the same character is written again and again, row after row, page after page. At first glance, it looks robotic, almost mechanical. But the hidden power lies in what's happening in the brain. Each time the character is written, the hand reinforces the muscle memory. The eyes strengthen recognition, and the mind connects meaning. It's not passive memorization. It's full sensory immersion. And here's the fascinating part. This method isn't limited to Chinese writing. You can use it for anything you want to remember. A math formula, a chemistry equation, a tricky vocabulary word in English, Spanish, or French. By rewriting it across a grid, you're training your brain to recognize it so deeply that forgetting becomes almost impossible. In fact, the first few times you write it, your brain barely notices. But after the 10th or 20th repetition, something clicks. The information stops feeling new. It becomes automatic, almost like tying your shoelaces. That's the secret power of the grid method, turning hard knowledge into second nature through deliberate structured repetition. And here's the kicker. After 3 to 4 repetitions, your brain gets bored. Push through, and that's when real memory wiring begins. Try the grid writing technique for just one hard-to-remember concept today, and let me know in the comments if it sticks. Secret 3. The peer pressure advantage. Picture this. You walk into a Chinese high school library during exam season. The room is packed with students, every desk filled, but instead of chatter or distraction, there's silence. An almost eerie silence. Dozens of students all hunched over their books, flipping pages, scribbling notes, highlighting key points, and not a single phone in sight. No small talk, no excuses, just raw, focused energy. This isn't accidental. It's intentional. You see, in Chinese culture, studying isn't always an individual act. It's a collective ritual. And here's where the peer pressure advantage comes in. When you're surrounded by people who are locked in, Your brain has no choice but to adapt. You don't dare slack off because everyone would notice. The quiet pressure of the group pushes you harder than your own willpower ever could. It's not competition in the loud bragging sense. It's competition in silence. Everyone is working. Also, you work too. And this effect is powerful. Psychologists call it social facilitation. We perform better on difficult tasks when others are watching or doing the same thing. Chinese students use this to their advantage. Their environment itself becomes their accountability partner. Now, here's the best part. You don't need to move to China to experience this. You can recreate it anywhere. Join a study with me live. Stream where thousands of students across the world are grinding alongside you in real time. Find an accountability partner and set up shared Zoom calls where you both stay muted and just work. Or even join online focus groups or Discord communities where silence and discipline are the culture. The magic isn't just in the books or techniques. It's in the energy field of focus that a group creates. Alone, distractions creep in, but surrounded by people who are locked in, even virtually, you'll find yourself studying longer, harder, and with less effort. Now, imagine this. You're sitting alone in your room, and after 20 minutes, you're tempted to grab your phone. But now, picture yourself sitting with 5 other people who are dead silent. Pens moving, eyes locked in. Which version of you studies harder? Exactly. That's the pure pressure advantage. So tell me in the comments right now, would you rather study alone in silence or side by side with a group that's grinding just as hard as you? Section 4, Visual Memory Mapping. Here's something fascinating that most people don't realize. Chinese students don't just rely on repetition. They also know the brain loves images and stories. Now, here's the best part. You don't need to move to China to experience this. You can recreate it anywhere. Join a study with me live. Stream where thousands of students across the world are grinding alongside you in real time. Find an accountability partner and set up shared Zoom calls where you both stay muted and just work. Or even join online focus groups or Discord communities where silence and discipline are the culture. Why? Because the brain doesn't naturally remember plain numbers or facts. It remembers images. It remembers meaning. It remembers emotion. And Chinese students have learned to hack this, turning every page of notes into something the brain can't ignore. Now, here's the secret. You don't need to be an artist to do this. Start by making what I call a memory palace page. Take your hardest subject. Maybe it's chemistry, biology, or economics. And instead of writing a list, turn the page into a story. Draw 1 or 2 simple symbols. Use arrows to show cause and effect. Connect facts together with little doodles that mean something to you. When you review it later, you won't just be staring at information. You'll be stepping into a memory map, a world your brain built for that topic. That's why Chinese students can recall huge amounts of information under exam pressure. They don't just read their notes, they see them. Now think about this. Which are you more likely to remember a week from now? The number 1789 or a sketch of a guillotine next to it? Exactly. That's the power of visual mapping. Try this tonight. Take just 1 page of your notes and turn it into a visual memory map. Then test yourself a week later. I guarantee you'll remember more than you expected. If you had to choose one symbol or drawing to represent your hardest subject, what would it be? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to see how creative you get. Secret 5, the forbidden technique. Now, we've arrived at the most controversial secret of all. A method so extreme it was once used in Chinese schools, but eventually banned. It's called extreme rote immersion, and it's exactly what it sounds like. Students would take a single formula, essay, or passage and rewrite it not 5 times, not 10 times, but hundreds of times in one sitting. Line after line, page after page, until the knowledge burned itself into their memory like carving words into stone. At first, it sounds almost insane. But here's the shocking part. It worked. Students developed near photographic recall of whatever they practiced. Because once you master these, your study sessions will never be the same again.